Hopefully you guys can hear. Maybe you guys can see there. There's all the water running out of there, but actually this spindle here is free. This one over here is stuck. Yeah, didn't try too hard, but try pumping some grease into it once and breaking her loose and just see what happens. So over and unstick that Mountaineer deck and see what kind of water and stuff is in it. And then I'll probably jump over and see what the C10A needs to get it running. Because I'm probably going to go on a, once the coronavirus thing lifts here, I'm probably going to go on a little bit of a tractor purge. Because I tried to turn this over on the trailer, but I didn't really look at it, and like now I can see the Bendix is in the flywheel, so that would be enough to hold it up. So I just got things like that, and this Mountaineer deck, I don't know that I'll get rid of it. Always wanted a Mountaineer something. It'd be nice to have a Mountaineer tractor to go with it, but beggars cannot be choosers. So, alrighty guys, so I got this thing sitting. Been working it back and forth, but haven't made any progress that I'm aware of. So we're just going to let this sit. I'm going to walk over here to this deck and see what I can start doing there. Above all, I guess I'll have to figure out how these spindles get greased, because there's no grease fitting on the bottom. So I guess the next step is flip it down, and I'm going to take the covers off and look in there and work on getting the gearbox freed up and see what we have to work with. I have no idea how long this stuff's been sitting outside or whatever, so just yeah, gonna have to get things moving here and just see what we get. Is it probably gonna need some new bearings? Probably. Will I get new bearings? If I was gonna use it every day, you know, just try and get everything moving and working, because even the caster wheels are stuck where they're at. So this is going to take some torch work, some persuasion. I went out to the truck and got my big pipe wrench ahead of this. So yeah, just see what we can do, because I can put that pipe wrench on the attachment clutch and break it loose. So clear out a spot here, push the Pro forward a little bit more, since I'm not going to be working in that corner for a little bit again. And give myself some room back here. So here we go. Put you guys back on the charger again. About charged now. So guys, first off is, whoa. I wasn't expecting to find that kind of stuff in there, since I thought this was sealed up pretty good. But who knows? I can't really tell. It does kind of look like a mouse nest to me. Doesn't smell like it because it's been sitting outside getting wet. So I'm gonna start pulling stuff out of here and just see what we got. That spindle up there doesn't have anything around it, is the free one, and this one down here is the locked up one, and it very well could just be held in place with all this gunk. Although I did try kicking it with my foot and that didn't do too much. So dig the stuff out, put the grease gun to it, then we'll start trying it. I haven't even tried the gearbox yet. I don't know. Yeah. I might end up standing it back up and taking these 4 big bolts off on the end and looking in it. See what the gearbox looks like. Oh, it seems like it's stuck pretty good. What I got there is just play in the clutch splines. So, yeah, let me get this stuff dug out and see where we go from there. See if putting a pipe wrench on a gearbox will free it up or not. Nah, I don't know. Alrighty guys, so hopefully I posted a video after I got most of this stuff cleaned out of here. I actually don't know if I did or not, but regardless, the spindle over here was stuck, kind of like what I thought. And at first it would rock back and forth about yay much, maybe a ½ inch or something like that, like a 1/8 of a turn. So I put more grease to it, flipped it up, started bumping the blade back and forth, and then basically it just went one time, and it's freeing up pretty good, honestly. So, the only problem is, and I don't know, like I said, if I made a video or not, but once I cleaned it out, the belt was actually broke on the right hand side over there, so minimum I'm going to need one belt. And I don't know if it's the same length as like a 40-inch commercial deck, you know, I just don't know. Both spindles took grease. I don't know that this one is greasing correctly, because it seems like I'm putting it in, it's coming right back out the seal over here, so, you know, I don't know. So I might try and take this spindle apart, or just run it and see what happens. I need to look at the oil in this gearbox. This has like a big cap on top. If I can think of it, like a freeze plug on top here. What it seems like. So I'd like to try not to wreck that, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys, I know this deck has been painted at some point. I don't know, there's a tag back here. I don't know if it was the serial number tag. It's blank and there's nothing left on it. This tag here was some kind of warning label. Be my assumption. And the one on the front obviously said United Farm Tools, but really, other than the back here, well, back here, like back here, I think that's in frame. It's not too bad. Obviously, some more dirt has come out of this since I got it turned in and threw everything out of the built pulleys and stuff. And these pulleys are never going to be perfect. You know, I can shine them up with a wire wheel and stuff, but, you know, they're never going to be really good, so my best bet is basically just clean the grease, clean all the stuff out around the best I can. Just put I would like to, problem is I normally don't change 40-inch commercial belts until they break, so I don't think I have any of those floating around that size. So yeah. So I think I'm going to look into the gearbox here. Nothing else, I'll take the plug out, see what I can see down through the top, and the one on the side, I can always take it out and see what runs out. If it looks like water, I'll change it. If it looks like oil or even dark oil, you know, run it for a little bit and change it. Because what's probably going to happen is it's probably going to get spun around here and put on this C10A, you know, just to try it and keep the front end down, and I'll probably try and get the C10A running, just because it's the hardest one to roll. Not a lot of oil in the engine and stuff, but it's about the Mountaineer deck. Obviously the blades are going to be sharpened, but that is the least of my concern right at this moment. Blades can be sharpened later. Just see what I have to work with, or if I need some parts. If I need some parts, I mean, I'm going to be kind of SOL, like bearings are not bad. I might be able to get a blade to cross over. It might be the same blade as a 40-inch commercial. Yep, I think that's about all I got right now. So, but eyeballing this thing over, basically, they just have a lot of things. I don't even want to say better than a 40-inch commercial deck, but a lot of different things. Like the gearbox is beefed up. I'm not 100% sure if the gauge wheel's out front, if that's factory or not, that pipe underneath there. I'm going to have to look around on the internet and see if I can't find some pictures when I go inside for dinner. But, yep. Working on this, see what I can get done during the corona outbreak. So, stay tuned, fellas. Cold out today, by the way. It was 70 yesterday. It was something like 30 this morning. The ground didn't freeze, though. So, anyhow. I don't know if you guys can see it. Perhaps. Try to get the light just right. But it looks like gear oil down in there. So honestly, I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Because I'm assuming the Rest of the bearings in this thing are going to be a little toasty, I'm sure. See if I can't scavenge up a belt. Everything is, what length is the belt? I don't know. Measure the old one and see how long it is. So I think, yeah, you still have to take the gearbox loose on this to change the belt. So I'll work on that. If I can find a belt to put on this, I'll throw it on a tractor and run it and see what the heck happens. But otherwise, for right now, this is all the further I'm going to go with this thing, because without a belt, you know, I'm kind of stuck. Literally without a belt. So I'm going to dig around here, see if I got something in the toolbox or in my piles. Because I do have, there's a couple 40-inch commercial decks floating around, but none that I don't use at all. So I'm going to dig around, see what I can find. If I can't find anything, that'll be it for right now, guys. So later on the United Farm Tools deck, also known as a Mountaineer deck. Mountaineers are a very interesting thing. Wish I had one of the tractors. That would be even cooler. Yeah. On the list, you know. Find one day. Trying to talk too fast and tongue twisting myself. Yep. So guys, I think I found two belts that are the same. Maybe 40-inch commercial deck belts. Looks a smidge longer, don't it? Pretty close. Try it once. But before I do that, I gotta get the tensioners unstuck. They had a pretty similar design as Gravely, but both the tensioners are froze up here. Just trying to work them like so, and no dice, at least on that one. I didn't try this one yet. So, I think I'm going to get the torch out and heat them up. See what happens. Sorry guys, kind of blocking the light. Laurie, you can get a picture. And boys, that gearbox looked massive off the tractor. Or off the deck. Alrighty guys, hopefully I can show this on camera. Probably be easier for me to get the tripod, but as you can see, after the old heat and beat routine, they move, and this spring over here amazingly seems like it's okay. I'm thinking this deck sat tilted back like so. That's what I'm thinking, but it's hard to say. But it does. Moves. Just needs work back and forth a whole bunch here. I'm going to let some Blaster sit in all this while I go in and eat some dinner. And I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with this one over here, since I broke the spring. I think it was probably about broken anyhow, would be my assumption. But yeah, so I don't know. See, these idler pulleys are not exactly healthy either. So all I could really do is see if I have another spring that will go across here and hook into this, and I gotta see if these nuts will even move here or not. You know, I don't know. Flat out, don't know. So these are like semi auto adjusting. Kind of, you know, you wind it up, you put say a 15 thousandths feeler gauge between the springs or something, and then you know, they semi adjust, but you have to adjust them as the belt wears still. You guys know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. I don't know if you know what I'm saying or not. Anyhow, but the thing I see is I don't know how you're supposed to get the belt off of this side over here. I can't quite do it, but no matter what you do, the welded nut right there is always in the way for you to try and get the belt out. So that's going to be fun. I have a half notion to take these off and drill and tap them for grease fittings. Yeah. Trick is, you see they're both underneath the center. I don't know if there's enough room on like top of these shafts if I drill a cross hole through them, or even if I just drill halfway into it and then drill down and put a grease fitting on top. You know, I don't know. I really don't want to weaken them. But at this point, I would think grease fittings there would be a good idea, but what do I know? I'm just a dumb mechanic. You know, just a dumb mechanic. So, I am going to putz with these for maybe a couple hours. Who knows? And I have my exhaust fan on for sucking out the PB blaster and smoke fumes from the torch. So, things are moving. Maybe not great. They're moving. Probably should have started with the tractors. I probably could have had at least one run. Perhaps I could have had that one running and that one running. But, you know, I started with the worst junk first. That. And this. So. Alright guys, it is about dinner time right now. It is 4:49. I'm going to go inside for dinner. Sit down. Play on the pooter. Be back out here tonight. Monkey with this stuff unless something changes my mind to not come back out here. I don't know what would do that, but who knows. I might try to unload the truck too, because it's been really nice out today. Pretty nice out. The sun's out, so hopefully the ground dried up. I'll check that out when I walk out front here. So anyhow, for right now, later guys. So I went and dug through my parts pile over there for mower deck parts, and guess what? I so happen to have a spring for that. So I'll stick that other side back together and we'll see what happens here. As far as being able to adjust these, that's probably going to take some work, so I'm just going to stick it back together and see how it works out, and then I can always get these to work later. Really rusty. It's going to take some torch work. Or I could just get some all thread and make some new ones too. Just cut them off. It'll probably work. So I'm going to get that hooked back up. Okay, now the other thing I just realized is the belt needs to be on there before the spring's on there. Son of a beach, it's a good thing that was easy to put on there. Well guys, the 40-inch belt I have is definitely too long. I'm going to say, obviously I don't have it bolted down, but as you can see this side is tight. And this side is not so much. So a wild guess would be about 2 inches shorter. Be my assumption. Yeah. Trying to see where the belt's at. Oh yeah, the belt's clearing that by a lot. So this arm, in reality, where's that screwdriver? There it is. In reality, this arm here could go way in if it had to. See, I got everything working pretty nicely now. What you guys think? So, I think that's going to be a no-go. Going to have to get me one shorter belt. I'm going to look around some more, but I think that's all I have. And I don't know what those come off of. I had those hanging up with my spare belts from work, like I changed on something, but I don't know. Who knows? Let me look around some. Maybe I got a belt somewhere, but I doubt it. So here's what I think the 40-inch decks are. They must be 37-inch. At least the Gravely ones. That's what I have in my toolbox. I just have the belt cover though. I don't have a belt. So, SOL. If the camera will focus. There we go. For this weekend, anyhow. So, move on to the next thing. See if that 52L will happen to unstick any. I doubt it, but you never know. So here's what I'm running into with these belts. I swear this almost looks like a 3/8 belt, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because here's the belt that was on it versus the belt I got, and that may be the problem. Because pretty much I can get this belt on there, but what it does, it rolls. It tries to roll to one side or the other just because it fits in the drive pulley on a gear head okay, but none of the other ones. So I'm thinking it's a 3/8 belt. So I'm going to give that a try tomorrow. I'm taking both damn belts with me, since I probably bought this one since I got it so dirty screwing around with it. I actually ran this belt a little bit too, so I can't say anything, but oh well, live and learn. Hopefully we'll get this figured out. Never had a Mountaineer deck before, especially at 884. Alrighty guys, so I finally got a belt that'll fit on the Mountaineer deck. Apparently they had 3/8 belts on them. 3/8 by 38. I would actually get a 37 if I knew what I knew right now, but I'm going to live with the 38. And guess what? When that one goes bad, I'll get a 37. Because that's, the Gravely decks actually take a 1/2 inch by 37. There we go, focus. So, let me sit you guys up on the tripod and you guys can watch this thing work. I've actually had it running a little bit while the heater was going here, but it's not as noisy as I thought it might be, but I'll let you guys listen. There's this wrench leaning there. I love this C10A, by the way. Really nice drum. So is the deck perfectly quiet? No. Did I expect it to be? No. Now all we need is some grass or some leaves to mow or something. That's probably going to take a little bit. Just because of the time of year and nothing's quite growing yet. Give it about 2 weeks and that'll change. So I'm going to take the shop vac and suck this out some more. And then I'll throw the deck covers back on. And I'll get you guys a final parting shot of this thing. And until we make it out to the yard, and then well, I may sharpen the blades anyhow going ahead of that. Just to try it. And the one thing I'll say, and somebody wanted me to weigh this gearbox. I'm not going to take it back apart to do that. But I'll tell you this much. With a C10A, normally you guys know they're really tail heavy. With just a gearbox on here, because I never unbolted the gearbox from the tractor, I can actually take 2 fingers and push the front of the tractor down. So I know that gearbox is every bit, I would guess easily about 100 pounds. Supposedly this is the same gearbox they used on their 6-foot brush hogs up to an 80 horsepower farm tractor by United Farm Tools. So it's very beefy. And if you wear the gearbox out on this, you're doing something. Or if you break it. So, like I said, let me clean this out some more. And I'll put the covers back on. And I'm going to kick the C10A out of the shop for right now. And then I'm going to concentrate on the L's. I already have a video going up of unsticking the 52 ahead of this. And I'll probably do the Mountaineer deck. Obviously you guys see these out of order of how I make them. So I try to finish them and then put them up. But yeah, I'm going to try and get the 59 running, and then I'll find a carb and put on the 52 once I get that motor loosened up really good. It spins over now, but it's nowhere near loose enough to try and start it. So, alright guys, let me do that. I'll get back at you. And I'll catch everybody on that next one.